Everybody's really excited right now to spend every last dollar they have on Final Fantasy, but I want to take just a moment and step out of the hype season to zig while everybody else zags. I found 12 commander cards that are all at all-time lows that you might be interested in, and as we go through, I'm going to tell you what commander decks they might play really well in. You're welcome to scrub through and just see which cards I suggested. I totally get it, and that's completely fine, but if I'm able to help you find a card, if you would hit that subscribe button for me or that like button, it would really help me out. Joel R Magic is brought to you by Card Conduit, the best place to sell your cards quickly and easily on the internet. TCG Player, the best place to buy them. Dragon Shield, the best way to protect them. And Moxfield, the best place to put your deck lists on the internet. Adeline Resplendent Cathar is a 2-white, 1 other, star 4 human knight with vigilance. Adeline's power is equal to the number of creatures you control, and whenever you attack for each opponent, create a 1/1 white human creature token that's tapped and attacking that player or a planeswalker they control. This card pops up in more decks than I care to admit. This just constantly seems like a great 3-mana creature to build into a ton of different decks. It just showed up in Commander Tarkir Dragonstorm, and right now it's like $1 or $2. It's definitely the cheapest of all the versions you've got here. Your original version one is Innistrad Midnight Hunt, and you can see this card got up to $15 at certain points before they started reprinting it pretty heavily, especially since it was just originally printed in 2021. Having this many versions already is kind of interesting. Adeline is going to go fantastic in attacking decks like Ishin Two Heavens as 1 or Jetmir Nexus of Revels. Either way, Adeline is a strong attacker for Ishin, and Jetmir is going to love the tokens that Adeline creates. You can just create tokens as a strategy too. Caesar, Legion's Emperor, or Marneus Calgar really love Adeline. And at the end of the day, Sidar Jabari is looking for knights, and Adeline is kindred with knights and humans. Just a lot of applicability across the board. Being that most of the versions are between $3 and $7 now, depending on rarity or foiling, Adeline being around $1 or $2 to pick up from the Tarkir Dragonstorm decks as people are trying to get rid of the extra stuff, this could be a really great time to grab a copy or two of Adeline. Divine Visitation is 2 white and 3 other for an enchantment that says if 1 or more creature tokens would be created under your control, that many 4/4 white angel creature tokens with flying and vigilance are created instead. Speaking of commanders like Caesar or Marneus, Divine Visitation is another white card having to do with tokens that also has a large price discrepancy right now. You can see it also was just reprinted in Commander Tarkir Dragonstorm and is around that $1 to $2 mark. Look at all of the other copies of Divine Visitation. $5 plus for any of them. We got this in Ravnica Remastered in a nice parfait, a base copy or retro, a serialized, and then the anime alternate here. Looking at commanders for Divine Visitation, this is a token commander card. You've got Caesar, Legion's Emperor, Teysa Karlov, Marneus Calgar, just to name a few. Really any deck that is creating creature tokens regularly, this is a consideration for, and at around $1 or $2, if you can grab it for that as people are breaking these commander decks apart, this is just a nice low price compared to even where the next lowest version is at around $5 or $6. Hey, pretty cool news. Today we launched a tabletop commander gameplay series called Garage the Gathering. Go check it out. The link is in the pinned comment and in the description. Go tell us what you think in the comments over there. Drop a subscription for us. The premiere is actually 3 episodes. There's an episode today, and there'll be 2 more episodes over the next 2 days. So go check that out if you're into that kind of thing. We really appreciate your support on that show. Evereth, Viceroy of Plunder in the anime version from Foundation's Jumpstart is 1 black and 2 other for a 2/2 vampire soldier. It's got flying, and it says sacrifice another creature or artifact, put a +1 counter on Evereth. If the sacrifice permanent was treasure, Evereth gains lifelink until end of turn, activate only at sorcery speed, and when Evereth dies, you can pay 1 and either a black or a red. When you do, Evereth deals damage equal to its power to each opponent. Foundation's Jumpstart is the last Jumpstart set to come out, and this happened when the first Foundation set came out, and tends to happen with these types of print runs. This was a rarer card in those, and as you can see, was over $50 for days at release, was around $30 for a while. We're in above 20 for weeks. This card was highly desired and very expensive, and now we're down to $5 on this. This is me sort of raising the flag on Foundation's Jumpstart. It's a good time to look back and see if there are any of the unique cards from that set that you might be interested in. With Evereth being a $20 card for so long, now just pick upable for $5. It's fantastic as a commander, running alongside things like Mahadi, Emporium Master, Black Market Connections, Mayhem Devil, really anything that's going to have to do with creatures or artifacts that you can regularly sacrifice and then sacrifice itself as a sub-theme. And look, the card goes in the 99 of decks like Edgar Markov because, hey, it's a vampire. It can go in Korvecdal, Fey Cursed King. This works beautifully with all of the sacrifice synergies that you'll be running in there. Marchesa the Black Rose loves Evereth. Evereth is a great attacker, and that's what Marchesa wants to do. These anime treatments are desirable, and it was inevitable that these were going to fall, and some of them are at that point. Like Thurid, Mare of Destiny. Look at that hair. I wish I had hair like that. 2 white and 2 other for a 2/4 Pegasus with flying and lifelink. When you cast a Pegasus, Unicorn, or Horse, copy it, and other Pegasi, unicorns, and horses you control get +1/+1. I sort of stumbled on Pegasi there. That's not a word that you read or think very often, and my brain went, la, la, la. What is that? You can look at the chart for Thurid and see the same thing as we saw with our treasure vampire. It was above 10 for weeks. It was above 20 for a brief time, and it has just been falling and falling and falling. And now we're down at that $5 mark where I'm like, hey, the mythics from that set are now in a range for pickup. Go check them out. Build yourself a mono white horses, unicorns, and Pegasi deck. Sword of Light and Shadow, seen here in the Universes Beyond Assassin's Creed treatment, which, look, as far as like Universes Beyond art goes, this isn't that offensive to the sensibilities of an MTG purist, right? It's a soldier holding a sword up. It's not that, you know, Universe Beyondy. It's a 3-mana artifact equipment that says equipped creature gets +2/+2, has pro white and pro black. Whenever equipped creature deals combat damage to a player, you gain 3 life, and you can return up to 1 target creature card from your graveyard to your hand. It equips for 2 like the rest of the swords. You can see this one has been pretty low. It had some hype out of the gate, but it's mostly ridden that $8 line and just continues to bounce off of that. I've been watching it for a little while now, and I think that at this point, if you need a Sword of Light and Shadow, if this is one of the equipments you don't have and you want, this might be a good time and a good copy to go and look at. If you look at the historical relevance of this card, you've got a card here whose all-time high is $75 with Sword of Light and Shadow. Around 2020, this thing popped hard. It has been in a dissension since that, but even the original copy is still $14. You got a nice little price discrepancy here with your number 100 from Universes Beyond Assassin's Creed, and that's not to mention that we also got an etched version that's barely more than it, and a showcase version that, again, doesn't offend the traditional MTG sensibility too much, besides like the set symbol, I guess. But it's a pretty cool version that's around the same price as the original. While we're talking about artifacts, I want to talk about one that defies physics, and that's Soul Ring in the Future Sight treatment from Mystery Booster 2. This thing had some hype. You can see it was above 20 a couple of days after release, and it's been sort of in a free fall. This was bound to happen with this set. It started out scarce, and it has gotten more and more into the market as they've sold more of those festivals in a box. And you can see this slight dip when they're like, oh, there's going to be more festivals in a box. Oh, there's going to be more festivals in a box. I'm calling it out at this point because it's down to $5, and it's a pretty cool looking Soul Ring if you like it. Some people, they look at this frame and it offends them. Some people like me, I look at it and I'm like, ooh, different. I like that. The foils are way more expensive. Now, don't even go looking for a foil of this because that is going to break the bank, and I would like wait for more of these festivals in a box. I'd wait until they really start talking about, okay, Mystery Booster 2's done, and then we can start looking for some of the hot treatments. But right now, we don't even know how long this is going to be in print, and so patience is what I recommend there. But around $5, if you want to make your Soul Ring look a little different, now's a good time. Overlord of the Hauntwoods is 2 green, 3 other for a 6/5 Avatar Horror. It's got Impending 4, which means you can cast it for 3 with 4 counters on it. It's not a creature, it's just an enchantment if you cast it this way, and so it can't attack, so it doesn't have power toughness, That's what it means to cast it for 3. However, it will get the enters ability here if you do cast it for 3. Whenever Overlord of the Hauntwoods enters or attacks, create a tapped colorless land token named Everywhere. That's every basic land type. And then once it does become a creature, either through just casting it for 5 straight up, or removing all of the counters one at a time at the beginning of your end steps, it'll be creating more of those token lands that tap for any color. Overlord is one of the best creatures from Duskmourn House of Horror. I personally just love this card. It fits beautifully into stuff like Henzi, Toolbox Tori. It's got great enters and attacks abilities. It fits great into decks like Omnath, Locus of Creation. Let's just have some more landfall, but off of a creature. And then it also goes in weirder decks like Onyxia, Hand of Erebos, or Bellow, Bard of the Brambles, because it is an enchantment creature. This card was above $20 for a while. You can see it premiered higher, but it's been around this $20 mark for the longest time, and I've just sort of been watching it. There's a chance this gets played in Standard because it is a Standard card. It could have some constructed applicability, but overall, it's just been sort of descending, and at $15, under $15 now, it's as low as it's ever been. I feel like it's entering a good pickup window. You may not want to grab this for $15 right now, but you also need to look at it and say, do I know Standard well enough to decide if this is ever going to be like a 3 or a 4 of in a deck while it's Standard legal, which lasts for a while. It's somewhere between now and the heat death of the sun is when Standard actually rotates. So Overlord could just continue kind of a downward trend until it settles at the price for a mythic of a set that's still in print. That is somewhat desirable, but around $15, I'm now getting out of the, I just proxy that card, into the, okay, I might look at picking up a few copies. Eladamri, Korvecdal was a new card from Modern Horizons 3. It's 2 green and 1 for a 3/3 elf warrior. You can look at the top card of your library at any time. You can cast creature spells from the top of your library, and you can pay a green, tap it, and tap 2 untapped creatures you control to reveal a card from your hand or the top of your library. And if you reveal a creature card this way, put it onto the battlefield. I thought that maybe this card was going to do more than it actually ended up doing. You can see it was originally in that $20 range where mythics like to sit before anybody knows how good they are, and then at release it was around a $10 card, but it's basically halved since then. We're not even a full year yet from Modern Horizons 3, and it's already down to $5. If this is a creature that you were looking at for your creature-based decks, help you get a little velocity or know what's coming, or even cheat some stuff right onto the battlefield for some major payoffs, I think that you need to take a look at Eladamri, and it's a good pickup range now. Another green card that makes you want to punch things is Railway Brawler from Outlaws of Thunder Junction. Brawler's 2 green and 3 other for a 5/5 with reach and trample. Says whenever another creature enters the battlefield under your control, you put X +1 counters on it, where X is its power. It's just casually doubling the power of all of your creatures. I love this card. You can also plot it, meaning you can pay 4 mana, exile it from your hand, and then cast it at sorcery speed for free on a future turn. It gets run a lot in decks like Helga Skittish Seer that cares a lot about creatures and +1 counters. Indominus Rex really loves this, just a counter-based strategy, and if Railway Brawler's on the battlefield when you play the Indominus Rex, it's going to come in with 6 counters on it regardless of what else you do, and that's going to make you draw 6 cards. Really love it in there. This was a mythic from Outlaws of Thunder Junction, and so you were up in that $9, $10 range-ish around the time it came out, and it's just sort of slowly fallen. It hasn't found a home really and constructed, and recently it's fallen even lower, and now we're getting under $6. It might be a good time to pick up a Railway Brawler. In true Zig While They Zag fashion, let's take a look a few sets back at Innistrad Remastered and see if there's anything in there I recommend. And I recommend you take a look at the showcase version of Meathook Massacre. Now, this is not the cheapest possible copy of Meathook that you can buy right now. That honor belongs to the retro frame from Innistrad Remastered, currently around $20. This is a card, y'all, that we needed a reprint of. It first showed up in Innistrad Midnight Hunt, and you can see all-time high of $79. This one got up there and even rose again when Enchantments Matters cards and decks came out around Duskmourn. That's the kind of thing that can send a card like this. We needed the reprint. We got the reprint. Now it's time to grab you a copy before this starts to creep back up. you can see this is pretty much flatlined. This is your cheapest copy, around 20 bucks, currently at its all-time low. You've also got the showcase for just a little bit more right now, and everything is pretty much around the price of the original base copy right now. Go look at Meathook Massacre. Speaking of Innistrad Remastered, have you looked at the rare land cycle from that set? These are the base copies here. These are the lands that enter tapped unless you control 2 or more other lands. That makes it fantastic for Commander, y'all. Deathcap Glade is the most expensive of this entire set, and you got the whole thing. You got all 10 of these in Innistrad Remastered. Around 6 bucks, and look at that chart. We have fallen, we are climbing. This is a great time to grab on. Now, these could get reprinted in precons. They could show up in other places, but if you need them, lowest risk we've had on some of these since the originals came out and were cheaper because they just hadn't caught on yet. Sundown Pass, Haunted Ridge, and Shattered Sanctum are your next 3 in order of price. This is a really great time to go and look at this rare land cycle and grab these for really cheap. And while we're talking about lands, let's look real quickly at Mutavault. The Magic 2014 version is right now at an all-time low of about $7. This one is one, it showed up originally in Morning Tide, and this copy got as high as 40 bucks, y'all. This was a very desired land, and it makes sense. It becomes a creature of every single creature type, and so it's got application in decks that have to do with every single creature type. With us being at an all-time low of 6 bucks on the Magic 2014 Mutavault, looking at the copy of Morning Tide, the all-time low on this one was $10. And so we are under the all-time low of the original. It's a great time to grab this one for your Kindred decks. If you've watched this far, thanks so much. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, or that like button if you have. If you want to support me directly, go check out my Patreon. You can get a free pack of custom dragon shields just for joining over there, along with a ton of other perks, our private Discord, and our Commander gameplay night every Thursday. Be like Cloud X Soldier. Go get yourself some cool sleeves to pimp out your deck and support me and my efforts over here directly. Thanks very much, and goodbye. See you in the next one.